Hi everyone, Nihal Sarin is the champion of Tata Steel Chess India Rapid 2026, and it's a beautiful result. I'm very happy, uh, and I would like to show you a couple of games of Nihal that really impressed me. But first, this picture here, that's Nihal at the top winning the tournament, and at the bottom, a very emotional moment for the boy. His maternal grandfather, who actually had taught him chess, passed away yesterday. That's day before. So a day before he won. And so in his thoughts, he played the day and he won the tournament, which is and he dedicated his victory to his grandfather. So that was very beautiful. Uh, I just want to show you a couple of pictures of Nihal. These are taken by Vivek Sohani, who's a wonderful photographer. Here you can see Vishy and Nihal after their final round game, which ended in a draw. Uh, Nihal became the sole champion with 6.5 points out of 9. Vishy was sole second with 6 out of 9, and then everyone else 5 or lesser points. By the way, there's one nice picture that I want to show of this guy sitting in the stands in the auditorium and listening to ChessBase India commentary. And there you can see Nihal and Vishy talking to each other after the game. That's Nihal and Praggnanandhaa. Beautiful picture of Nihal here. Um, Nihal, Vishy, and Sandeepan. Full focus for Nihal there. And in a field that had, players like Arjun, Prag, Hans, Wesley, Nihal winning it, uh, being the last minute replacement for Gukesh. That's a huge result for his career. There you can see the only loss for Nihal came in this game against Arjun. That too, he was better. And this one, these are some pictures by Lennart Utes, another person watching our stream there. Uh, that's Nihal with Arvind. Nihalers against Prague. And look at the number of people who've come there to watch. Beautiful in Kolkata. And yeah, a very nice picture of Nihal here. I love it. And yeah, that smile always on his face. So that those were some very nice pictures by Vivek and Lennart, and was very nice to see through them. I think I can just take you through briefly some of the key moments from this tournament that Nihal played, and one of them was against Wei in the first round itself. Actually, what happened here was Nihal could have started off with a loss here. It ended in a draw, but h5 was played here by Wei, and Nihal, instead of playing knight to c4 here when the position is still quite complex, he took, and this is where Wei missed his big chance. He could have played bishop h7. He went for rook h5, and after g6, bishop g5, somehow Nihal Sarin escaped here. He's still worse, but he escaped somehow. But if Wei had found this move, instead of taking the pawn, this bishop h7, king h7, and then rook h5, I think it would have been game over. um, g6, and you have to give material. It's very tough to play, like for example, if you take here, I take with the queen, and it's a forced mate here. So that was a save on the first game. In the second one, I really liked how he beat Arvind Chidambaram here. uh, in this position, he played this move, e4. This was very nice. I really like this move. Take, bishop takes, and now finding this nice little trick. Although the position was still equal, somehow very nicely done here by Nihal. And then he was positionally better. c6 got a bit weak. He won the c7 pawn. And then the end was beautiful because he sacrificed his rook here and went for a win. So, he's coming here for a mate, Arvind. That, I'm going to checkmate you. And Nihal is like, sorry, I'm first. Rook h6 check. If king g8, there is bishop h7 check. Yeah, bishop h7. If g h6, there is queen h6, and it's a checkmate here. But king g8, bishop h7. If king back here, then you have at the very least bishop c2, and I pick the queen up. Um, King f7, and this beautiful move, queen a7 check, finishes off the game as rook e6 is coming, and then queen e7. So that was a very nice win for him. In the round number 3, he drew his game against Arjun. Sorry, he lost his game to Arjun, and that was, I think, a big loss for Nihal, because he was better in this game, and I really liked how he played here with knight e4, and now very bold g5, f6, h5, and these pawns have become tremendously weak. In fact, Nihal even went on to win this important pawn, and he was simply a pawn up, but Arjun viewed his magic and beat Nihal. So it was 1.5 out of 3 start for Nihal there, but day 2 turned into a big day for Nihal, and it started off all with Hans Niemann here in this position. Hans Niemann got all wild. It's equalish position, interesting one. He went knight g4, and he thought he'll finish off the game, but Nihal took queen h4, and now he's threatening a checkmate. You can't play g3 because of check here. If you play f3, there is bishop h2 and bishop g3 and mate, but queen h4, and now came the move rook e5. Very nice move. And the rook blocks. If you take here, then I have 2 pieces for a rook with very good bishops. Otherwise, let's say f6, I have rook h5, and I'm completely winning. So Nihal had a good win here against Hans on day 2. And then we moved to round 5, where he played Volodar Murzin. And I think this game, very complex according to me, very difficult also for both sides. But I like Nihal's maneuver here. He went knight b8, undeveloping his knight, wants to put it on c6. Murzin breaks in the center, gets this Marokzi bind, but the bishop is misplaced on a4. And I think Nihal really played beautifully to outplay his opponent here with tactics. This tactic with b5, knight e4, take on c2, then knight d3 is just very strong. Completely winning position here. I mean, it's better. Couldn't say completely winning, but he was better, and he managed to convert this pretty well. So that was the second win for him. Then moving on to the next day, I think the most beautiful endgame here that he played in the tournament was against Vidit Gujarati. It's equal here. He brings his knight. If you take the knight, then you are going to lose this king and pawn endgame, because I am just coming in. So Vidit was like, okay, I'll not trade. He goes knight b4, attacking this pawn here. a3, knight went back, king e4. And now came, I think, a beautiful moment in this game. I think king e7 was not good. King e8 was much better. But king e7, with it, I'm pretty sure saw this check. He saw that if he takes here, king takes d5 is lost. Because even if you try to block me, I will have additional waiting moves eventually. And I will get in either here or here. So he went king f6. But now came this move, which was, I think, a brilliant one. Even Vishy Anand was all praise for this move of Nihal, which was king d4. Beautiful. And the point again, if you take here, I take here. If you take with the king, I have e4 check and I win. So, and king d4 has a real threat, because I'm just coming in. I'm just coming in here. So he went b4. Takes, knight was saved. I think Vidit had a chance with knight a2 to stop here. It's somehow very complicated, because he has to try and start attacking e2 pawn. But yeah, here somehow the king came in. Yeah, f5, knight d6. He just got everything in and won the game. So great endgame here. I think one of the finest endgames there. Next day, he played Praggnanandhaa. He was under pressure, but he was in joint lead with Vishy. They both drew their game, and now came the most, I think, uh, Nihal, by the way, only in Prag game, he faced this very interesting line f4, and Nihal actually dealt with it quite well and managed to draw. He was in some pressure against Prag, but he managed to hold on. And then came the most critical game of the tournament, that was against Wesley So. Just to show you a few moves, Wesley Anand in many of his interviews said, like, I've never seen Wesley play like this. Yes, he went all out to beat Nihal. And knight f4. Nihal got already the bishop pair. He was better. Queen h6, f4, and now this beautiful move. Try to think if you can find it. Black to play. Yes, bishop g1. Excellent move. Of course, if you take here, this is already a very bad position. Bishop d4. I'll pick up the pawn at the very least. So rook g1, and now again, think what should black do? Yes, queen b6. Sometimes difficult to spot such moves. Double attack on g1 and b2. Long castle and picked it up, because I mean, if you try to save this rook, let's say rook h1, I just go queen b2 and you're losing material. So long castle, and I think after this he didn't have too many troubles. Wesley tried to go all out on the attack, but Nihal was just gave back some material and h6, and Wesley resigned. So that was an important win for Nihal, and in the final round he faced Vishy Anand, who was half a point behind him. And so if he loses, Nihal could lose the title, but you know, with white, Nihal chose the most solid way to play here with these 4 knights in e4, e5, and he managed to draw this game and win the tournament. 6.5 out of 9. A huge kudos to Nihal. He has been seeing this upward swing in his career. He is now 2716 in classical, very nearly made it to the candidates in FIDE Grand Swiss. And now in this tournament, he has won the top spot. I think 2026 is going to be an incredible year for Nihal, and we wish him a huge congratulations and all the best for the Blitz section and for the next tournaments. Bye bye.